So you said that you're saving yourself
Yes, we'll talk
for
about
marriage,
that, yeah.
but you're not a virgin.
Correct. Yeah.
Explain.
I stopped having sex like 2 years ago. 2.5 years ago. Yeah.
So you didn't technically fully save yourself.
No. At this point, I was saying like I don't need to think about like all this birth control stuff because at this point
It doesn't matter to you.
moving forward. I'm saving myself for my wife.
Why?
I didn't previously because I'm a
Was
Christian.
it Justin Bieber?
Good for you.
What did you say? Wasn't Justin Bieber?
I said, was it Justin Bieber?
I'd be surprised if he was. I mean,
Wait,
No, 'cause he did that.
if you're
He
willing
did
to
that,
talk
yeah.
about it, what was the point where you were just like, okay, now is like I'm done with this. Like I'm gonna save myself now.
Yeah. So with a girl I was with in the past, her and I were deeply in love, but I also knew that we weren't going to get married. And in the process of having sex, like you like really deeply bond with somebody, right? And like I knew we weren't going to get married, and I could tell that.
Why?
Yeah.
Because there was too much incompatibility in terms of like the deep underlying values.
But you guys were dating?
Yes.
So why
Okay.
did you?
Yeah.
How long were you like in the relationship for? Like when you realized that you knew you weren't going to, be with this girl or woman or whatever for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Like when did you realize, and why did you not end it sooner?
Exactly. Yeah.
I started to get the feeling like 6 months in, and then I absolutely knew. I'd say probably about a year in. No, actually, probably about like a year and 3 months into the relationship, I absolutely knew. But I had a feeling at like the 6 month mark, and I kind of just wanted to like wait it out. Like I was like, maybe we can negotiate to like, build a relationship with each other where it'll last long term. And we realized we couldn't. And
I feel like that's what so many people do when they're in relationships. Like, when you know, like you always have to trust your gut, right? That something isn't right.
It's
Something
the
doesn't-
optimism of
something
like
exactly.
Yeah.
Something doesn't feel right, and you kind of just want to keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and especially when they do some really messed up stuff to you, like they can hit you or, and it goes both ways. I'm not gonna like set like a double standard. Like women, like they hit men too. It's nothing.
Amber Heard.
Yeah.
Amber Turd.
Amber
Amber
Turd.
Turd.
Exactly.
Turd.
Yeah, absolutely. But so like this can go both ways. Like you can feel that way about like, say like you two were dating and she hit you. Like you could feel that way about her. Like, right? Like, oh shit. Like she's probably not like the best option,
Yeah, if she hits you, I mean, why would it be?
Exactly.
You said a year and 6 months though. How long?
No, it was like a year and 3 months.
3 months. And then how long did you date? Like until it ended?
like a year and a half.
Okay, so it was like 3
But
months
like
of
the
where you were
last,
just
the
like.
last like 2 months of us dating, like I don't want to get like super deep into details,
Yeah.
but like the last 2 months of us dating, like we basically knew it was over, but we were still like talking to one another and stuff. And then there came a point where we were like mutually like, okay, we know that we're not cut out for the long term, so let's end it. And it was a mutual decision. It was good. But
How do you feel reflecting back on that time of you guys spending that year and 6 months together? Do you feel like it was a waste of time, or do you feel like you're happy about the moments you guys had, but like, damn, it didn't work?
Dude, it was a beautiful time. I learned so much about myself as a man, and
yeah,
like,
and you changed your perspective on how you're gonna be.
A lot, and it also made me realize like what I want in a marriage. Like meeting this girl, like I knew very soon after meeting her, like I want to have kids with you someday. Like I loved her so much that I knew I wanted to have kids with her. And
So it was good, and then it transitioned.
Yeah, well, I mean, like a big part of it was
Morally.
I started to take my faith a lot more seriously.
Got it. So
right?
she wasn't religious, or like
No.
morally, that's what you mean. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah, and like
Why are they discriminating?
Look who's in the chat, by the way.
Andrew
I saw
Fuck
Anson.
you, Andrew Tate.
that was the guy who
Andrew
connected you
Tate.
guys
Yes.
with this podcast.
Exactly.
Ah.
Yeah.
Wait, can I ask you a
Okay.
question?
Yeah.
So, if there was a girl that you like fell in love with, and you knew that she loved you, like you guys both knew that you really loved each other, but you guys weren't necessarily ready for marriage, you still would not have sex with her.
I'm sorry. Can you rephrase that question? That was like a lot to process.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Until marriage.
So
Kind of easy.
imagine you found a girl that you loved with your whole heart, and she loved you equally as much. And you knew down the line that you would marry this girl. Like, and you knew that you guys were both, like, fully, like, dedicated to
You're
one
asking
another.
if we would still save
Would
ourselves?
you guys still save yourself for sex?
I
would you-
I would do my absolute best, and that's a very difficult
Okay.
thing to do.
Mhm.
Because when you're really in love with somebody and really attracted to them, it's challenging to
I just want to
abstain.
see how, like, the kind of, like, limitations, like what could break that for you. You
I
know?
mean, if her and I end up on a date with one another and we're alone and we're close, like, it's, you know, one thing leads to another, and that's hard to avoid, you know. But that's where it comes down to me as a guy. Like, I think most women would follow the guy's lead in that kind of scenario, and
for sure.
you know, like, it's gonna take a lot of self-control for me.
Yeah.
Because once I find, like, that woman that I want to make my wife, it's gonna be real hard
And you haven't found
to have
that.
self-control.
You haven't found that woman yet.
Correct. Yeah.
That's okay too.
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
okay.
It's all right.
Yeah.
God's doing a lot of work on me.
Oh,
For
yeah.
sure.
I
We're-
feel like
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I feel like a lot of people, you know, including myself, and, like, I'm gonna be totally honest here, like, feel like they need to force things, you know, and, like, letting things go. Like, I'm one who feels like I need to be in control of a lot of situations, you know, and when I feel like things are out of my control, like, I kind of feel like a bit manic, you know. So, like, hearing, like, you say that, like, you're able to, you know, like, save yourself, basically, it's very encouraging, you know, very impressive, because you look at a lot of guys nowadays and all they want is just, like, sex and sex and sex, whatever. I'm not saying all guys, because, you know, that's very unfair. I'm not gonna
But, like,
guys
in
that
this
generalize.
area, it's like
but yeah,
95%
if we're
of
gonna
dudes.
if we're gonna generalize the male species,
There's
you know?
there's always like a majority. Yes, I
Yeah.
know what you mean.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. Please don't do that.
It's
you
the
know,
hookup culture that's like huge right
Exactly.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find that when you're with a guy that you really like and respect, you mentioned that you like to maintain control, right? When
I
you're
do,
when
but
you're
I'm
with,
not dominant.
Okay, so, like, when you're with a
whatsoever.
guy who you respect, are you able to, like, relax and, like, let him lead and let him be in control?
Yes, until he does something that I don't like, and then
That's-
I'm very, very honest about it. And I think that, like, I think it's like a blessing and a curse, like, how straight up I can be with people, you know, because, like, sometimes, like, I
People-
just I
some
can't
people don't
let-
like straight
Give
up.
us an example of a time you've been really straight up with a guy.
Okay.
She said I'm ready.
Well,
Pull the
can't-
microphone a bit closer towards you. There you go.
Okay, is this good?
Yeah.
Cool.
By the way, I
example-
just want to say this panel has like the weakest bladders.
I
just
haven't
wanna say
gotten
that.
up. I'm sorry, I haven't
Thanks.
gotten up once, so
Just
kudos
saying.
to me, right?
Just saying. Okay, go ahead.
I'll get up right now. I'm joking.